Hello world, Cozzy here to talk about something that is close to my heart. First person shooters. Yeah, that's right, first person shooters, FPS video games. Now, those of you that know me know that after I played COD 4, the first Modern Warfare game, I basically said, that's it, I can't play any more FPSs. I'm burnt out, I'm sick of them. And I pretty much stuck to it with the exception of beta testing a few for Sony and maybe Half-Life 2 because, you know, Half-Life 2 is amazing. So, yeah, can never really stop playing that. But the majority of modern, new school FPSs since COD 4 I haven't touched. And recently I've started to pick up the FPS genre again, playing games like Crisis 2 and something got with Duke Nukem Forever, which it's not bad, but you know, a bit more old school sensibilities mixed with some horrible new school sensibilities, and that's really the problem. There's 5 problems that I can think of. 5 problems of new school versus old school FPS sensibilities. Number 5. Carrying 2 weapons. I understand that there's a more tactical element to it, but why the heck does every single franchise have to have that same thing? It doesn't. We need some of those old school games like Quake, like Doom, where, you know, it seems impossible, but for some reason you could carry a pistol and a shotgun and a rocket launcher and the BFG and weapons that could vaporize the entire room. But we don't get this anymore. We get very standard, you can carry 2 weapons and that's it. And it's a problem I had with Duke Nukem Forever, despite the fact that I really enjoyed playing it. It was just one of those problems I had. Yeah, I missed being able to carry more than 2 weapons. Number 4. Next up, something that is a massive bugbear of mine, something that comes from the Call of Duty franchise, not having health packs. What? You can just go into cover and you recover health? No, that's insane. That doesn't work. That makes the game easier, if nothing else. The fact that in the old school games you took damage, you had a percentage counter of your damage, and you knew that you might have to go into a room with 2% health and dodge bullets, dodge plasma, dodge grenades, and try and find either some armour or some health packs. That made it that little bit more exciting. It's also a little bit more realistic. You know, you get shot in a war, you don't just hide in cover and, you know, basically recover. I'm not saying you grow your arm and leg back or whatever, but yeah, you get patched up in the middle of battle. That's necessarily a health pack, isn't it? So yeah, why should we hide in cover and recover? Why don't we bring back health packs? Number 3. You know what I loved about old school FPSs that you don't so much see nowadays? That they were obviously linear games that didn't feel linear. That's something that's really missing in the modern generation. Now, if you go back to games like Wolfenstein 3D, Doom and Quake, what you'll find is that their way of doing this was to have maps that you had to go to different places, but those places might be locked until you do something. Be that kill a certain enemy, find a certain key card, whatever. It was basically a maze type map which was going to one destination but not in a straight line, and that's what most modern FPSs do. If you say, well, you know, it's been around for a long time, think about the Half-Life series. The Half-Life series was basically quite linear throughout Half-Life 1, Half-Life 2 and even Episode 1 and 2, but it gave you the opportunity to explore a fairly linear environment and to do things like the puzzles that you needed to do to get to the end destination, rather than just shoot this one person, go to this next place, shoot this other person, go to this next place, well done, go to the next place, do the same thing again for 6 hours, then play online, because that's all we really care about. So yeah, why can't new FPSs be linear but feel non-linear? Number 2. Something I mentioned a couple of seconds ago is multiplayer. And for me, it seems now The big problem with modern FPSs is that's all most of them care about. They just care about multiplayer, and not just any multiplayer, but online multiplayer. I understand multiplayer is important. It adds to the replay value. I understand that because I used to play multiplayer on a 56k modem on stuff like Quake 1 and Half-Life 1. It was fantastic. I mean, Counter-Strike, which basically came out of the Half-Life engine, amazing multiplayer game. But what did most of those games also have? An absolutely stellar first player campaign mode. A lot of FPSs are missing that now, and I like playing first player campaign modes. As much as online's fantastic and I love it, sometimes I don't want to have a headset on, I don't want to be talking to people, but I do want a really engrossing story that I can follow and play, like Half-Life 2, which, you know, was amazing. Even though I'm not a massive fan of it, the first Halo game had an amazing storyline, an amazing campaign mode, and a lot of modern FPSs seem to have got away from that and just have it as an add-on. Okay, here's your multiplayer game that you've bought. By the way, we've bolted on sort of 6 hours of single player. Use it as a training mode and then get online. No, we need to put more effort into both sides being equally as good. And something else, something that it seems most companies neglect nowadays, offline multiplayer. Why should I still have to be playing, although it's one of my favourite games of all time, GoldenEye on the N64 to play split-screen multiplayer? Sometimes it's nice for all of us to get together in one place and shoot the crap out of each other, rather than do it over a headset in our bedrooms or our living rooms in our own houses. We miss it. We still see it in other games. Why is it missing from FPSs? Can anyone tell me? Number 1. So you've got to the top of my list, the last one, and it's a big one, and really it encompasses 2 things FPSs have lost: originality and innovation. Now, you think about the original FPSs right up until the modern era, there was always originality, even in things like the setting. Now, you think about Wolfenstein 3D, you're shooting mutant Nazis. Doom, someone's opened a portal to hell. Doom 2, a portal to hell's been opened on Earth. You've got alien invasions in things like Duke Nukem. You've got crazy scientific experiments going wrong in the Half-Life series. This may sound crazy based on maybe the last 5 or 6 years, but Medal of Honor basically created the World War II genre. People who've only played COD, Medal of Honor, if it wasn't for Medal of Honor, there would be no COD. Simple as that. You can ask me why, maybe I'll explain it in another video, but Medal of Honor created that genre, and COD obviously has got a lot of the credit for it, and I wanted to point that out to the world. When I talk about innovation as well, there was things like most original FPSs didn't have any major storyline. There was an overarching one, and you played levels and you went to the next level and that was it. Then they added cutscenes, which explained the bits between levels. Then came along Half-Life, which basically wasn't a cutscene. It was like in between bits were little mini movies, and you saw it through the eyes of Gordon Freeman. And that's just one type of innovation. I mean, I've mentioned Halo. Halo was the first video game in the FPS franchise where you could only carry 2 weapons. You had to think tactically about the weapons you were picking up, putting down, whatever else. And each of the weapons had an advantage and a disadvantage depending on how you used them, where you used them. You think about Half-Life 2 with its physics engine and the puzzles behind it. All of these were innovations. It seems strange. I mean, even, dare I say it, Call of Duty series, bringing in that innovation of hiding behind cover, which I really, really don't like, to bring health back. There doesn't seem to be innovations now. What I'd like to say is, games developers, if you are going to make an FPS, you really need to think about being original and innovating. Okay guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, then down there's the like button. As always, you click on that, let me know you liked it, favourite it, share it with your friends, put it on all your social networking sites, do what you do to show my videos some love. If you want to leave a comment boxes are below. Maybe you don't agree, maybe you do agree, maybe you think I've missed things out that I haven't mentioned about this old school, new school FPS debate. In the description box below is a link to my Facebook and to my Twitter, so you can pop out, join them and find out what's going on in the world of me and my channel. If you by any chance have missed the last video, this week's Geek Movie News, there's a link just there. You can click on that, pop out and watch that. Thank you guys, keep supporting new content from the channel, keep letting me know what you think about it, and until next time, au revoir.